Greetings and salutations, this is Faceless Opinion. Welcome you back to another video. I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I love me some tabletop RPGs. Dungeons and Dragons is one of my all-time favorite games to play. It's the best, especially when you have a good group to play with. However, it wasn't the first game that got me invested into the genre. That honor would have to go to Pathfinder. And let me tell you, it isn't an easy game to play, especially when starting out. It took me a long time to understand certain mechanics. Also didn't help that my DM at the time didn't really do a good job of explaining things, but that's neither here nor there. Like I said, Pathfinder is a complicated game. The list pertaining to feats and magic can make anybody's eyes glaze over, while some classes and races can get overwhelming with the small detail. However, the thing that baffled me when I first started would be the skills. It took me weeks to learn how to increase my skill modifiers and years to figure out the use of certain skill sets. 33 different skills can make anyone a bit confused, but hang with me, I will walk you through everything. Acrobatics allows you to keep your balance while traversing narrow or treacherous surfaces, as well as being able to do dives, flips, jumps, rolls, avoiding attacks, and confusing your opponents. A few examples of acrobatics being used will be trying to run across a sheet of ice, bouncing on a tightrope, or staying upright on a rocky ship's deck. Appraise is used to evaluate the monetary value of an object, like trying to determine if an antique vase you found in a dungeon is worth 10 silver or 50 gold while bargaining with a shopkeeper. Bluff, or deception if you're a D&D player, is knowing how to tell a lie. Typical situations where lying is a necessity is trying to fast talk a guard, con a merchant, earn money through gambling, pass yourself in a disguise, dull someone's suspicions with false assurances, or maintaining a straight face while telling a blatant lie. Climb is self-explanatory. It is being able to climb whatever surface or building you want to be on top of, whether it be a mountaintop, tree, or house. Craft is a skill that specially focuses on creating something from a specific category, such as armor, weapons, or potions. There are many different things that can be crafted as well as being able to have multiple different craft skills, up to 3 in some instances. However, what you choose to craft and the number of crafts you can have at any given time is something I would recommend consulting your DM about. Diplomacy is basically persuasion, to persuade others to agree with your arguments, to resolve differences, and to gather valuable information or rumors from people. This skill is also used to negotiate conflicts by using the proper etiquette and manners suitable to the problem, like getting 2 countries to sign a peace treaty. Disable Device allows the player to lockpick and disarm traps. In addition, this skill lets you sabotage simple mechanical devices, such as catapults, wagon wheels, and doors. Disguise enables the player to change their appearance. The result of your roll will determine how good the disguise is, and whether if others will be able to see past it or not. My advice, if you choose to make use of a disguise check, would also to have a decent level in bluff. It is one thing to look the part, it is another thing to convince others of it. Escape Artist is being trained in slipping out of bonds and escape from grapples, like being able to get yourself out of shackles or any form of restraints. Fly is self-explanatory. You are skilled at flying, by either playing as a creature that naturally has wings, like a Strix, or through the use of a magic spell, class ability, or item. Handle Animal allows you to work with animals. With a high enough roll, you can teach them tricks, get them to follow simple commands, or even domesticate them. I mean, seriously, who wouldn't want a pet bear? Heal enables the player to provide non-magical medical treatment to someone in need of it, such as minor first aid, treating a life-threatening wound, or to diagnose if someone has been poisoned or have contracted a disease of some sort. Intimidate is used to frighten your opponents or to get them to act in a way that benefits you. This skill includes verbal threats and displays of prowess. For example, you could use the edge of a broken bottle to convince an uptight merchant to reconsider a business deal. Knowledge Arcana measures your ability to recall lore about spells, mystic artifacts, and any other type of magic that might be in play that requires research to discover if something is cursed or safe for player use. Knowledge Dungeoneering is mainly used for exploration and adventuring in places such as caverns, dungeons, tombs, and other similar locations. It can be helpful in identifying mysterious minerals found inside a mine shaft to locating hazards within a cave system, as well as figuring out what type of creature might reside inside. Knowledge engineering focuses on architecture, construction, and technology as a whole. With a high enough level in engineering, you could possibly reprogram an enemy automaton, or perhaps even build your own. Just saying. Knowledge geography is devoted to the study of the lands, features, and inhabitants across the world you are playing in, from figuring out which country an NPC is from, to locating the nearest body of water, and deciding which route is best to get through a thick jungle. Knowledge history is your ability to recall lore about historical events, legendary people, ancient civilizations, and past wars. Knowledge local is used to gather information within a city, such as locations of shops, local gossips, rumors, traditions, and laws. Knowledge nature pertains to the study of plants and animals. It can also be used to determine weather conditions and seasonal cycles. Knowledge nobility focuses on politics, like monarchies, government officials, bureaucrats, aristocracies, and others within high society. Knowledge plane specializes in the studies of dimensions and the people who live there. Heaven, hell, and the abyss are just a few in a large list of such planes. Knowledge religion measures your ability to recall lore about deities, scriptures, prayers, holy orders, symbols, and in some instances, cult practices. Linguistics means you're skilled at working with language, in both its spoken and written forms. You can speak multiple languages and can decipher nearly any tongue given enough time. Your skill in writing allows you to create and detect forgeries as well. Perception lets you spot, hear, or otherwise detect the presence of something. It measures your general awareness of your surroundings and how keen your senses are, like being able to eavesdrop on a private conversation or to notice if someone is following you. Perform determines how well you are with entertaining a crowd. Just like the craft skill, there are many different ways on how you can do a performance, such as playing music by either using instruments or singing, dancing, acting, storytelling, etc., etc. Profession means that you are skilled at a certain type of job. It is in the same camp as both craft and perform, with there being numerous career options. A few examples would be like being a baker, a cook, librarian, fisherman, sailor, farmer. Literally anything is possible depending on your DM. Another way to interpret profession would be if my character wasn't going on adventures, what would they be doing instead? Ride enables you to use mounts, mainly horses, but could be something else altogether, depending on how creative you are. You can do mounted combat if you wanted, but I would only recommend it if you're choosing to play as a cavalier. Sense motive, or in D&D terminology, insight, is the ability to determine the true intentions of a creature, such as when determining whether or not someone is lying to you or predicting someone's next move. Sleight of hand allows you to pick pockets, draw hidden weapons, and take a variety of actions without being noticed. Anything that requires you to have steady hands would use sleight of hand. Spellcraft is used whenever your knowledge and skill of the technicalities of a spell or crafting a magic item comes into question, like casting spells, figuring out magic items, and identifying spells as they're being cast. What's the difference between spellcraft and knowledge arcana? Honestly, it's really hard to tell. They are very synonymous. I guess knowledge arcana is what it is, while spellcraft is how it works. Stealth allows you to avoid detection, allowing you to slip past foes or strike from an unseen position. This skill also covers hiding and moving silently. Survival lets you navigate the wilderness and survive the wilds of whatever biome you are in. You also excel in following tracks, enabling you to hunt down animals or people. Swim is self-explanatory. You know how to swim and can do so even in rough water. You want to swim around the ocean? That's perfectly fine. Just watch out for krakens. Use magic device means that you know how to activate a magical item. Items that would require you to roll for this skill would mainly be wands and scrolls. Don't ask me why this is a thing. I feel like something like this would fall under spellcraft or knowledge arcana. It's even weirder that this skill uses a charisma modifier instead of an intelligence one like the others. I don't get it either. In a nutshell, that is how all the skills work. When it comes to ranking up a skill, you will be given a certain number of points you can use to increase it every time you go up a level. That number will depend on two factors: what class you are playing as and your intelligence modifier. If you are a rogue, you are going to get 8 plus whatever your intelligence modifier is, while for a paladin, on the other hand, you will get 2 plus their respected modifier. Is it BS? Maybe a little, but to compare the two further, a rogue has access to 21 skills, while a paladin only uses 10. So it kinda makes sense for a rogue to get more. But if you still think that is BS, I won't blame you. Not to mention, some skills vary when it comes to actual use. Most of them are essential for any party to have, like perception, stealth, survival, acrobatics, a good chunk of the knowledges, and so on and so forth. There are those that they seem like they can be useful, but are very circumstantial, like appraise, escape artist, or even fly. Then there are those that are hardly ever used. In my personal experience, I have never seen anybody use knowledge nobility, spellcraft, profession, or use magic device. Pathfinder is not an easy game to play, whether you are a new player or you're a D&D main wanting to try something new. I hope this explanation answered any questions you may have had. Now be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave me a comment, and tell me what you think about Pathfinder in general. It can be about anything. And until next time, I will catch you all on the flip side.